Hey, what is up everybody? This is Rob and this is my 2022 Tacoma that you guys have already seen before. So I want to do one more video. I want to talk to you guys about a few more modifications that I recommend doing to your Tacoma. Now these modifications, these aren't very specific as to, are these only for if you're off-roading, or are these for if you're not planning on off-roading. These are just general mods that I highly recommend you do, for both longevity and just to sometimes make your life easier. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into them. One of the first things I usually always recommend doing to your car or truck, so it doesn't even have to be your Tacoma, is look into paint protection film if that is what you want. What is that? Well, it's essentially just a thin film that they will apply to any part of the car or truck that you want. And it just protects it from rock chips or any other forms of scratches. It usually does have a bit of a self-healing property as well. So, let's say a deep rock gets into it, leaves a little dent in the film. Give it a bit of heat and then it'll pretty much level itself right out. I always recommend it also if you're off-roading because, if you don't want to get too many pinstripes or any of that kind of stuff, it's essentially just a really good shield against it. I figure that the truck will be going head first into a lot of bushes and that kind of stuff. So the front end could use some protection. So I actually did, essentially a lot of places call it the full front end package. And this doesn't just go for Tacoma, but for other cars. For example, my Supra, I had the full front end package. So that is the whole front bumper area. So here, here, and here, the headlights, which is always very important to protect. Not just because of rocks, but remember guys, as they get older, the essentially the UV protection layer on your headlights will start to degrade. So by putting the PPF on the front of it, it helps keep it from degrading. Think about when you see the old cars and trucks and it's all foggy on the front. Yeah, you can help prevent that with PPF. Also have it on the front hood, which is just a nice place to have. I don't know about you guys, but on my cars and trucks, I have found little random rock chips all around sort of these areas. Just, whatever kicks up on the freeway. Also, that way, you don't have to worry about it, making a possible point where the paint will come off and you might get a bit of surface rust. And then you don't have to worry about that as well. I also do have it on the lower fog light here, as well as my, mirror caps, because those always get a lot of rocks. So I also went ahead and I did apply PPF to this area of the truck, to the pillars. It actually just starts here and ends right here. I didn't do the whole pillar all the way down. Honestly, I've gotten some really random rock chips right here on other cars I've had, so I figured, well, why not? But also, I put it somewhere not how people really do. So I actually did PPF the roof as well. So here's the thing, guys. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that the roof takes a lot of abuse. All right, think about it. When you park it everywhere, that's where everything's falling on it. Leaves, random sticks, that's where animals usually want to land. That's where birds want to land. Sometimes you have cats that sit on your roof. I've had that happen many times before in my previous cars. Found a whole bunch of little cat scratches. Also, this is also what's going to fade pretty quick on your car. Think about how whenever you see a lot of older cars, it's always the roof that you start seeing the fade happen first in terms of clear coat failure. So I figured, why not do a bit of protection and why not just put the PPF up here? And also, I'm not a very tall guy, so it'll be much easier to basically wash the roof and I don't have to worry about swirling it when I can literally just, go at it with my cloth or whatever other tool I want to use to clean a roof. So I don't have to be as careful. It just, generally this makes life a lot easier. And also remember, every area that I have PPF on, next time I decide to do a paint correction, polish, ceramic coat and all that, those are areas that I don't have to pay as much attention to. I don't have to polish any part of the car that has the PPF on it. That really does make life a whole lot easier, guys. So also consider that. It's also a bit of a time investment for your future. So once again, guys, PPF, highly recommend it. So everything I actually did to the truck with PPF, it cost me about $3 grand. Of course, wherever you live, it's gonna be different. I live in California, everything is expensive out here. I have seen other people say it was only maybe $2 grand for what they had done, which was usually the whole front end package in other states. So really it just will depend where you are and just, if the investment is worth it for you. But with that, let's go on to the next modification I recommend. All right, you guys, so now for the next thing I highly recommend doing to your Tacoma ASAP, as soon as you leave the dealership, and that is looking into a dash cam. Now, I have done a few videos on dash cams before. I do have a dash cam guide video that is here. You just have to go through my playlist. I also do have a video on the FitCam X, which is a very nice dash cam option that you can put into your Tacoma. So I won't talk too much about how the install and all that goes. You can watch those videos to see how that works. But we'll just talk to you guys a little bit about it. So remember guys, crap happens. You know, bad stuff's gonna happen while you're driving. You wanna be able to record it. You know, I still remember when I got into my first car accident when I was 18. Being I was an 18-year-old, of course I panicked. You know, it was my first car accident. But I remember that someone told me something very important, and that was, this was your first car accident, but this will only be one of many. This won't be the only time you'll ever get into a car accident. And being told that, it really made me think, you know, I should really be more prepared for the next one. And that is why I highly, highly recommend everybody has a dash cam in their car or truck. You know, they're actually not even that expensive. You know, this is actually the Rexing one. I've been using these for years. This is one of the cheaper ones you can buy. That's a pretty good quality. It was about $80 to $90 on Amazon. I do have a link to that one below. In terms of wiring, there are a bunch of different ways. You could do it through the fuse. You could take power via an adapter from the plug that goes into your power mirror, or you also have options like the FitCam X, which will replace that black box that is behind your rear view. There are a whole bunch of ways. Remember guys, I have videos on these. You know, do look at those and then really narrow down the best way you want to protect your Tacoma, and it might even be a matter of protecting yourself. Remember guys, no one likes getting into a car accident, but even worse, no one likes being blamed for a car accident that is not your fault. So with that, on to the next model. Just want to show you guys a relatively easy setup I have for the dash cam on the inside. So as you can see, I like to tuck it up behind the dot matrix just so that you have a harder time seeing it. I just have the lens poking out. And that way, just to make sure, you know, nobody can really see it and it doesn't look too obvious. It is unplugged right now, but I do have the wiring running along the headliner and then down into the fuse area where I am using both a always hot fuse and a fuse that is only hot when the car is switched on. That is because I do have parking mode on this, where I do get a time-lapse function when the car is turned off. Just in case anything happens while the car is turned off, I have it on video. I do go into that more, like I said, in my dash cam guide video, so please go check that out if you want more information. Alright you guys, so if you know me personally, you know that when it comes to an interior, you're never really going to see me do a lot to it. I'm mainly just focused on protecting the interior. Whether this is applying a UV protectant to keep the dash from cracking, or just general keeping it clean. However, I do think it's important to protect the clear bits of plastic in the car that will probably essentially swirl up pretty easily. For example, the clear plastic in your speedometer area, that's going to swirl really easy, and if you're off-roading and all that, you get dust on it and you have to frequently clean it off, it's going to be essentially an eyesore by the time you're done with it. So I do recommend, you know, looking into a screen protector for the plastic bits just to keep them, you know, nice and swirl free. So this is actually the screen protector. It was actually pretty easy to install. You can't even tell it's there because, once again, all the best protection is the stuff that isn't obvious to you. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to go into the car so I can show you guys, one, how it looks, and two, where I have it applied, and three, just why it makes life a lot easier. All right, you guys, so I am in the car right now. I want to show you guys where I had applied the screen protector. So I did apply it on here. So you can't see it, which is the point of it, right? All you can see is just this little bit that's lifted up because there's this weird red tag that was already there. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I didn't really feel like fighting with it. It'll be really nice because that way when dirt gets on, I can wipe it off and it won't swirl it up. Now, in a lot of cars, this is always really cheap plastic that swirls really easily, so that is why I thought it was very important. Also do have it on the display right here, having a bit of trouble focusing, but this whole thing is also covered as well. Also, the gear shift plastic. So this right here, this will swirl also pretty easily, so that way I can easily clean it off and don't have to worry about that. The kit does come with, you know, the protector. I actually paid a bit extra to get a second one just in case I ever need to replace it. So this was the 140 speedometer, as you can see by the little hole right here. Sorry, that little hole right there. because that's where the stick goes in, where you always press it to change the settings. And it does come with all your stuff you're going to need, like microfiber and a squeegee. So yeah, I definitely do recommend doing this, you know, to the interior, just because, you know, you can't really go wrong with more protection. All right, on to the next modification. All right, you guys, so I am doing a bit of an overhead view because I want to give you guys a good view of it. So the next thing I do recommend for Tacoma is looking into, essentially, how are you going to be covering up your bed if you don't want an open bed? You know, there are a lot of reasons why you might not want an open bed. For example, security is one of them. That way people can't look into it. So I do recommend looking into tonneau covers if you really want just a way to kind of streamline the look of the truck while having a little bit of security. So this is actually the Lomax folding tonneau cover I have on here. I do have a video for this one as well. Definitely a really nice one to look into. This is a tri-fold as well, so let me put down the gate real quick. Pull on here, and it folds into 3. So here's just one fold. Very convenient, guys. Really nice to be able to throw stuff in. Like, for example, yesterday I picked up someone from the airport to be able to toss in the luggage and not have to worry about it being seen when we went out to go eat after. And this snaps back in just like that. Nice and easy. I definitely do recommend, you know, looking into how you want, essentially what you want to do with the bed of your truck. But Lomax is definitely a solid one. This one does also have a nice hard top on it as well. Once again, guys, I do have a video outlining what I love about this cover, so make sure to check it out. All right, so we just talked about doing different forms of bed covering. So remember, you can do a tonneau cover, you could do a soft topper, you could do a hard topper, a whole bunch of things you can do. However, I do want to just point out something. So you see this light up here, let me make it go off, right there. So that light on the cab, it's actually supposed to also help you illuminate, you know, the contents of your bed. Just in case it's dark or whatever, unloading, loading it up, you have a nice light that's basically shining into it to illuminate it. However, of course, when you put any form of, you know, covering on the bed, it's not going to do anything. Last night, I was unloading a whole bunch of stuff from the bed, you know, and obviously the light's not getting in here. This thing is just acting like a total shield about that. But luckily, I actually had installed lighting inside of the bed that helped me out. So let me go ahead and let me change the angle here so you can see them better. So these are the bed lights. They're pretty nice. So these are actually LED, really nice and bright. You know, I was using them last night while I was unloading a bunch of stuff out of the bed. At 10 p.m., it was pretty dark. And remember, guys, because I have this cover, that deck light was doing absolutely nothing for me at all. So it was actually pretty nice. I already had these in here. If you have a 2020 and up Tacoma like I do, it's actually really easy plug and play. There's actually a little space there. You pop out, the light goes in, it plugs into a plug-in that's right behind the tail light. I can definitely recommend it. So I'm actually using also an OEM alternative. I figured it was half the price, and for me, LEDs are LEDs, they're all the same. So definitely recommend looking into it. I do have a video on these exact bed lights. It has the installation as well as an overview and what are my thoughts about it. Definitely worth checking out if this is something you want to do. Definitely great for the convenience factor, guys. You know, these lights will go on whenever your door or gate are open. So I really can recommend this, you know, wholeheartedly for you. Just make your life easier, guys. All right, you guys, so for the last one, this is actually just a fun one, guys. This is not necessary. I do think it's a really cool one, and it's relatively inexpensive and easy to do. So I actually went ahead and I took off the stock turn signal in the side mirror. Usually it's just a blinking light. And I actually threw in a sequential LED one. So check that out. See how it goes from side to side. Pretty nice. So super easy to install, super nice looking. I do like how it looks nice and you know, dark right here, so you can't tell the stock one. It is clear with a little bit of chromey look to it. It's definitely not my favorite, so I definitely enjoyed this look a lot more. All I have to do is pop off the cap, you know, switch out the wiring, and you're good to go. I do also have a video on that as well, how to install and what are my thoughts about it, with a direct comparison to the stock light as well, so you guys can get a really good look at that. Definitely recommend looking into if you just want just a little bit of flair. You know, maybe you just got the truck, you just want to do something small just to really make it, give it a bit of your own personal touch. Sequential side marker, definitely worth looking into. I will put the link to this one I got on Amazon below, so check that out as well, guys. And there you have it, you guys. More modifications to do to your Tacoma, a couple that I feel are really important, and then a few that are just either optional or just for fun. You know, definitely recommend looking into these for Tacoma. Remember, some of these that you saw, I already do have videos out in regards to if you want more information about them or how to do install, that kind of stuff. But definitely make sure to check those out, guys. Please, you know, like, comment, subscribe. You know, I want to know what you guys think about this video, about your Tacoma, about what mods you've done. If there are any other mods you recommend doing, you know, also let me know. I'd love to look into them. Maybe I'd love to also do a video on those as well. You know, I'm always looking to learn, guys. You know, I feel like the best part about getting, you know, a new vehicle, whether car or truck, new or old, is just getting to learn a whole bunch of new stuff about it, learning all the new products, learning all the new possibilities for it. So with that, guys, this is Rob, and have a good one.